Hello everyone, and welcome to Peter Hazelwood, episode 5. In this episode, we're going to take a deep dive into that fake investment website that our man gave Celia the link to, the one that she claimed she needed so that she could do her due diligence. Obviously, in episode 3, she didn't do her due diligence, so we're going to do it for her now. Here is that website. One of the first things that I usually do is a who is search to see if that tells us anything useful, such as who owns it or when it was set up. Here it is. That domain was registered on the 9th of November 2022, almost exactly 2 months ago. It's registered with Namecheap, so when I finish making this video, I'll report it to them. There isn't any other helpful information on here because they've got their who is privacy turned on. Now, let's take a look at the website. As we did with the fake shipping company, let's copy and paste a little bit of the text into Google and see what we find. Let's take this first sentence about their trading services, which tells us that they're professional traders and portfolio managers who return profit to investors, guaranteed and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Now let's copy this sentence. I'm going to paste it into Google, surrounded by quotation marks, which forces Google to search for the entire quotation. And here we are. You can find it on Twitter. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it on the Affix Bank FX.com, Fresh4xpro.com, legitbinaryoption.com. Anything with that domain name clearly isn't legit. Tradeleica.com, freedomfinancialtrustcoin.com, fxmtrades.net, and several others. Do you think a legitimate securities trading website would be using copied and pasted text? Now let's just take a closer look at some of that text. Let's take a look at this bit. Newcrest Ventures Cards. The site is owned by Newcrest Ventures, a registered company for cryptocurrency investments solution. 2 full stops. We give a chance to new, dynamically developing ICO projects that bring huge profits in an amazing short time. Now I know if English isn't your first language, it'd be hard to see that none of that actually really means anything. Now, let's look at the Contact Us page. And here we are. Here's their address, 66 Great Suffolk Street, London. Let's put that into Google and see where it is. The businesses at 66 Great Suffolk Street include the Africa Centre, which tells me it's a London-based charity that celebrates the diversity of Africa and its global diaspora. As far as I can tell, this is a legitimate, long-standing charity, and I'm not saying that they have any connection whatsoever with this website, because I'll show you another address in a minute. I've gone back to the home page and scrolled down a bit. One of the things it says is that Newcrest Ventures is an online company. We were one of the first to invest in cryptocurrencies, but we know that this website was set up 2 months ago. Here's an overview of their office. Let's do a reverse image search on that photograph of an office. Because I'm using the Firefox web browser, I'm going to have to save that image first. It appears to be a photograph of the offices of a company called Pageant Media in London. And here are 2 photographs of what might be 2 happy investors. Dana Lewis says it provides a huge variety of investments and great community of traders. And Walter Jobs, who says successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Let's do a reverse image search on one of these. Let's try Walter Jobs. There's a visual match here on Grameen.net, and there he is. He appears to be called Bobby Webb, and he appears to be the chairman of this company called Grameen.net. I'll just have a quick look around and see if I think this is a legitimate website. Looking at this page, I would say that it isn't. I think this is the website of another fake shipping company, so I wouldn't like to say where that image originally came from, but I would imagine that fake shipping company possibly belongs to the same group of scammers. Let's go back to the website again and come down to company information. Here we are. We've got a company number. Let's do a search for that. Remember, this company claims to be at 66 Great Suffolk Street. Let's see. So now I'm on the UK government website where I can get company information. I'm going to paste that number and search the register. And here's the real company whose number they're using. I've blurred out some of the details because this may well be a legitimate company. I couldn't find any information about them. But they're based in Abingdon in England, nowhere near London. Now let's go back to the company information. Look, there's a certificate of incorporation, and it's actually a certificate of incorporation for that company in Abingdon, which may or may not be legitimate. They've only uploaded it at a very small resolution, so it isn't really readable. Now, let's look at their FAQs. And of course, the very first FAQ you'd put on a reputable investment website is this one. Is encrestventures.cc legit? And there, they give that registration number and their office address. And we know that that office address is not the address of that company. How may I become a client? All you need to do is open an account. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And we'll also have a look at setting up an account at a legitimate Bitcoin investment website. I don't know if you remembered or even noticed, but when he was talking at the end of episode 3, he says he also has an account at Binance, a legitimate website, and I'll show you the difference between setting up an account on this fake website and setting up an account at Binance. The answers to several of the FAQs are just ungrammatical, something you could easily miss if your first language isn't English. Now, let's go back to the home page. You might remember at the start of this video, I read this bit about them being professional traders and portfolio managers who return profit to investors, guaranteed and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Remember, this company claims to be based in London. This is the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's the United States regulatory body. It has nothing to do with companies that are registered in the UK. Now, let's try signing up for an account. My old friend Fred Rabbit is going to try signing up this time. You'll see from the information that's popping up where Celia tried to register while she was talking to our man. Fred's a clever rabbit. Apparently he does have a mobile phone. And if you saw a number pop up there, I won't blur it out. It was a made-up one that I put in when I was trying to register for Celia. If you aren't looking at the screen at this point, I'm typing made-up information into the registration form. Now let's see what happens when we try and register. And this is exactly what was happening to Celia. It just takes you back to this page. If you now try to sign in with that account that you think you might have set up, it just returns an error, and my browser's auto-filled it with Celia's information again. So you can't actually sign up on here. Now I'm going to show you the Binance website, the one that our man claimed that he had an account with. This is the Binance website. Annie's going to try and sign up. I'm using Annie because earlier on today I tried setting an account up for Celia, and then when I went back to make this video, it wouldn't let me restart because it was waiting for Celia to verify her account. So we'll use Annie's information and I'll show you what happens. Annie can sign in with Google. She's going to agree to the terms and conditions. And now, before it will let her go any further, she has to verify her account. And she's going to have to provide personal information, including her government-issued ID, and go through a facial recognition procedure. And this is why, with some of the crypto scams, the scammers try to get their victims to set up accounts with legitimate trading websites. Legitimate websites require the accounts to be verified, something that of course the scammers can't do. So they will try to get their victims to set up an account with a legitimate trading website and then hand over the login details. Once the victim has handed over the login details, the scammer then changes the password and the contact details, so the victim can no longer log into their account or recover their password. This gives the scammer access to a verified account. If any criminal activity then takes place on that account, it's taking place in your name, the name of the victim, the person who set up the account. So if someone suggests to you that you invest in cryptocurrency, there are two things to look out for. If the website that you've been sent to allows you to set up an account without undergoing a verification procedure, then you know for certain that it's a scam. If you are asked to go through a verification procedure, then you have to think carefully. Is this a legitimate website? In which case, I'll be handing over the details of a verified account to a scammer if they ask for the login details. Or is this a more clever scam website where the scammer is actually going to gain access to your personal details once you've submitted them? So do your homework. Make sure that you're 100% satisfied that the website that you've gone to is legitimate if it's asking for verification. If you aren't certain, don't sign up. And if it is legitimate, never ever hand over the login details to anyone. As I've said in a previous video, so I won't go into the details in depth here, there are three ways of investing in Bitcoin. You can simply buy Bitcoin, which have virtually halved in value over the last 6 to 12 months. You can put your money, I won't say invest, in Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining is currently producing negative returns. Or you can do what I think this man was trying to say would happen on this website, which is trading Bitcoin in the same way that people do Forex trading. In the UK, I believe it's classed as a form of gambling. You're betting on whether the price of Bitcoin will rise or fall against the price of another currency. If you get it right, you win. If you get it wrong, you lose. Now, let's see whether we can still log in to our man's account. Remember, he gave Celia the details. But our man has been smart enough to realise that Celia logged in and messed with his account, so he's removed the login details. I know I changed the password. I didn't make a note of what his username was. However, I did take a few screenshots while I was inside the account, just in case this very thing happened. As we saw in episode 3, the account claimed to have $80,000 in it. I quickly set up a browser extension with a Bitcoin wallet. I asked this account to transfer the $80,000. The $80,000 appeared to go out of this account, but you'll be pleased to hear that it never arrived in the Bitcoin wallet that I set up. I was pleased about that too, because I didn't really want to have to hand myself over to the police for handling stolen money. Inside that account was the address of a Bitcoin wallet. Bitcoin wallets are anonymous. There's no way of knowing who they belong to. But I entered the address of that Bitcoin wallet into the Blockchain Explorer. And here it is. I've hidden the address of the wallet off the top of the screen, but you can see that in its lifetime it's received and sent $1,285.89 worth of Bitcoin at the current rate, and that there have been 26 transactions. These transactions appear to have taken place between January 22 and September 22. The largest amount seems to be for $219.72. There are many transactions for smaller amounts. It's possible that this account has been used by the scammers, taking in initial small amounts from their victims, testing to see whether they will send them money in Bitcoin. Here's another screenshot from inside that account. Our man, if you remember, told Celia that he'd deposited $80,000 and that she needed to deposit another $20,000. Well, that's not quite what the account claims. The account claims that on the 6th of January he traded $1,840 and that made a gain, a profit of $80,000. Not quite what he told Celia. And here was the page that told you how you could fund your account. I can't demonstrate this because, of course, I can't get into the account anymore, but it won't surprise you to know that the bank transfer page returned an error, the credit card payment page returned an error, but oh surprise, I could have deposited using MoneyGram, Western Union or Bitcoin. I hope this video and episode 4, where we did a deep dive into the fake shipping website, have given you some clues about the type of thing that you should be looking for if somebody that you've met online gives you the address of a website. Do your own due diligence, and if you don't know what to do or how to do it, try and find a tech-savvy friend, relative, neighbour or colleague to help you. And if you're at all unsure, don't invest and don't have anything to do with the shipping company or any other company whose website you're unsure of. For example, if you use Facebook or other social media, you'll see a lot of adverts for discount clothing or fake giveaways or fake competitions. Have a look at those websites. Most of them are fakes or scams or just sites selling cheap knockoffs that will look nothing like the photographs shown on the website. And that's where a reverse image search is a useful thing to be able to do. If there are any websites that you'd like me to investigate, please send the link to help@keepsafeonthenet.co.uk. It might be quite interesting to do a video of user-submitted requests and just see what we find. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like it, please share it, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified when the video goes live, and I'll see you again in another video.